Alright, time for another video here, and this is just a few things that I think if you changed them up small scale wise, you would have a different have a much better all-round product. Okay, I'm going to start things off with who I'd take off TV.
It's boring. You're boring, everybody.
Take off
Quit
TV right away
everyone.
would be Robbie E. And Rob Terry. I'd send them to OVW and like say and inform them that like this is not me firing you. We're gonna probably bring Robbie E back with a different gimmick. So I'd tell I would ring up OVW and say, hey, look, I need you to repackage this guy that I'm sending you. Can you find some time for him on TV sometime soon? Again, it wouldn't be like, okay, here's my guy, can you use him in TV right away? But I would ring them up and say, look, I'm going to finish this guy out for the next couple of weeks. Can you find some time on TV to repackage him, give him a different gimmick, and show him how to use that gimmick? Rob Terry, I would just send down there and just have him do some. Stay down there, and because he's the champion, I'm pretty sure he's still the champion down there. If not, he has been the champion down there. So, yeah, I'd just say, okay, you can stay down there full time and fix up your wrestling skills. But I do want to bring him back because he's got a very good look for the business. I know a lot of people are not necessarily over with him, but I think he could bring in some casual fans, given some time. So. Eric Young is a different case. I'd take him off TV and essentially do what I've always said. You just need to take him off TV, bring him back with a similar, more similar gimmick to when he first went to that serious character, and like for a while, maybe not scale it up so much, but just change it up. If I was to do the comedy thing with him again, if I was forced to do it, I would just scale it back a bit, scale it back. And first thing I'd do though is yank the Knockouts tag titles off them. And I'd have that done in a pretty simple way. I'd have Hogan call both ODB and Eric Young into the office, because I'd say, I'd have him say, well, Sting went crazy there for a little bit and he allowed this to happen. I'm going to change that, because the only reason I have not gone after let this run on so long is because I've been focused on other stuff. But now I need to take the belts off you, and I've found a legal way of doing it, and blah blah blah. Just take it, and he takes them off, and That might be the last we ever see of him, because I'll explain that later. Sting, I'd take Sting off TV, and the reason for that is after Slammiversary, I don't think I need to bring him back until Bound for Glory, and even then it wouldn't be in a main event spot. I wouldn't be putting him in a ring straight away to be the champion. I would bring him, if I were to bring him back, I'd have him face someone and then job to him at Bound for Glory. Alright, now we're going to move on to who I'd hire.
I have the balls to say things that nobody else has the balls to say.
A couple of people would go out and actively search for, to the talent people, that okay, we got some problems with our tag team division. We need a good solid tag team, because we've broken up Team 3D. We've broken up Mercy Machine Guns. We've broken up just about every tag team that we had. We've broken up Beer Money, but that was about, I think that was about time to do that. Maybe even a bit earlier. And I'd hire the Briscoe brothers, and this would just be because I think they're still trying to find ways to reinvent them in Ring of Honor. But every time I'm here, they've won the tag title 6 times. What's it going to mean if they went out to 7 or 8? I mean, I think haven't they won the tag titles more than any other tag team or something there? So let them go and do something on the bigger stage. Like, even if they were to go to WWE, I'd be happy to see them there. It's just again, they're in Ring of Honor. I'm sure they're doing great things with them, but unless they're putting over other tag teams to replace them, I don't see the point. From OVW, I'll bring up the Blossom Twins. Again, if I was forced to have the tag belts, I believe this would be a team that I would put in there against TNT, up against a few other teams, and see how they go. And if they were good enough, I would put the belts on them. Again, I haven't seen them wrestle so much, but if they were, I would put the belts on them, establish them as my team to beat for at least the first little while. But again, that would only be if I was forced to keep the knockout belts. Okay, let's move on. The last person I would hire, though, not saying that this wouldn't be the last person I would hire, but this is the last person on this list of people I would hire, because again, I'm taking 4 guys off TV and I'm replacing it with 3 different guys and 2 different girls. Women. Would be Carlito. I'd bring Carlito in. Again, I'd maybe have to change his name or something. I'd probably, if I had to, I'd use his real name. But if I didn't have to, I'd just call him Carlito. Have him do similar stuff. Have him do Carlito's Cabana. Introduce him like that. Have him try and do the Piper thing with the Cabana, and just have maybe even have that backstage as opposed to in front of the crowd. But so we do a few things with Carlito in the Cabana thing. All right, storyline wise,
Ted, my boy, it's gonna be legend. Wait for it. Dairy, legendary.
Storyline wise, okay, here we go. I would scale back the in-ring promos to maybe 2, and reduce their length to by half. Again, I look at the thing and go, well, okay, we can have a match in here. If we scale this back, we can maybe make this match longer and this match longer. But if we reduce this to its bare essentials, like get to the point a lot quicker, like alright, you have like I've seen old WCW stuff in its prime when they would get so much over in like 2 or 3 minutes, because at the end of the day, that's all the time you need to get some stuff over. And do backstage interviews more, like before a match, I'd have like Jeremy Borash or Christy Hemme just go in there with the talent going, okay, this is so blah blah blah. Okay, next thing, emphasizing pay-per-view matches more. Basically, again, in those pay-per-view matches, I'd book some stuff just off the fly and build it up from there. They say, okay, this at Victory Road, we're going to have this, this, and this, and maybe I haven't done anything with them. It's just we now announced that, okay, these are the next challenges for these titles because they've earned the shot previously or something. Have a battle royal or a match with a couple of top contenders and put over the belt like that. Make people realize, okay, these people have won some matches, so therefore they must be getting close to getting a shot at the title. With the X Division, it's a little bit easier to do, just minimalize the storylines a bit more. What's this? Oh, okay. I didn't spell that right. Try and reduce the number of belts by taking the TV title and Knockouts title away. Now, wouldn't do this in one big swoop, like WWE did, and then panicked and realized, okay, we need some mid-card belts. For those of you who don't remember, in about, I think it was 2002, they had on Raw, they took away the European title, they took away the Hardcore title, they took away the Intercontinental title in rapid succession. I think it was across like 2 or 3 months, and then they went, oh crap, we've only got those tag belts and the Cruiserweight belt and the Women's belt. We need some big cup titles for people to realize that these guys are moving up. But as far as the TV title goes, they don't seem to be doing a lot with it, so I'd be like, why do we have this belt if we... Basically, again, I would just merge that with the X Division belt and put over the X Division champion over the TV champion. And again, I mean, look who's got just look who's got the belt and look who's competing for it. Again, unless I can find a way to put over that belt, there is no point in having it. And as far as the Knockouts tag titles are concerned, they brought them in, they built them up, and then as Hogan and Bischoff came in, where they were going. And this is a last little thing. I'll give credit to Truth Slayer for doing this. He came up with this idea. I would change the name of Hardcore Justice back to Hard Justice. And again, this is just one of those things that I think, well, they named it Hardcore Justice after the ECW thing. I changed it back to Hard Justice, and for a few matches, maybe majority of the card, the stipulations would be like, I think Jim Cornette had it in Memphis, but this is from like SummerSlam Heart and Soul. If someone wins something, they got to do something. They got to wear a dress for a week, or they've got to dress for a month or something, or they have to retire, or they can no longer compete, or there's so much you could do. Say the world champion match. This is one of my favourite stipulations, by the way, is and it's a way to end a feud pretty quickly. And you can have a trail off, and there's a number of things you can do. You have the championship match, and the stipulation be, okay, as long as this guy is the world champion, this guy can't compete for the world title. And you can do that, and that's one of my favourite stipulations, mainly because you can end a feud on it, and you don't have to have it in a cage. You don't have to have it, or you can. You don't have it, but it's a stipulation that people can understand. They can say, well, this guy probably can't compete for that belt, and you can have him interfere in matches, and then you can have the authority. This is another reason to have the authority figure is, okay, the authority figure comes out and says, okay, you can't interfere in these matches anymore because I don't want to see you guys within X amount of distance from each other. And you can do that right like the very next week. And anyway, that's just a few things. They're not great, big, huge changes, but apart from reducing the belts and the people I'm taking off. Again, those people I'm taking off TV, I'm sending. I'm giving Eric Young time off. I'm having Rob Terry and that go to OVW, and I'm still paying them. Sting, he's pretty wealthy. I'm sure he can always use time off, and I'm only going to be as far as Sting goes, I'll just go back over this really quick. Sting would only be used at Bound for Glory, Slammiversary, and Lockdown. You would not see him in between time. You would see him come back the week, say it's Victory Road that they're doing now for Lockdown, a bit before Lockdown, And again, I would only be using him there, and he'd be like the last guy to go into. If say I'm putting him in the Lethal Lockdown, he'd be the last guy in. So he'd only be competing for about 10 minutes in the Lethal Lockdown cage. And Slammiversary, another thing I'd do, I'd bring back the King of the Mountain. And if I were allowed to, I'd bring back the six-side ring. But again, those two aren't essential. But and Sting, I'd just have him in the sub-main event. He'd be nowhere near that world title. Nowhere near it at all. He would not be competing for a #1 contendership, and if he were, he'd be the first guy to be beat. I may do him in. I may put him in a TV for a special occasion to draw some ratings, but that'd be about it. I would not put him in a pay-per-view main event for the world title. No chance. I think putting him in the main event world title picture is a bad idea. But you have people probably clamoring for it if they really wanted it. But if I wouldn't do it, it just makes no sense to me. And Hulk Hogan, again, with the backstage skits and all that being scaled back, I'm not going to do much with him either. So eventually he'd probably get sick and tired and leave, and I'd be like, okay, bye-bye. As far as Brooke Hogan goes, apparently she's not doing a horrible job at the moment, but the first segment she was in apparently didn't do too bad. I haven't watched the show, so but yeah, those are just some things I would do. Not a whole lot of big deals, but they're pretty simple to do, and some of them are just my personal taste, like who I'd hire. Is just some personal taste stuff. So who I'd let go. I think you take Robbie E, Rob Terry, and that you would just take them off TV. It's not a big deal. Anyway, that's it for me.